Oh no, this is not good. We got gutters hanging off here. The driveway is almost non-existent. These floors are completely destroyed. Oh man, that's a bummer. There's nothing we can save here. We got shit-stained toilets and rusted out bathtubs. This thing is completely trashed. The deck's literally just falling apart in the middle there. It's just like the trash from their kitchen they took back here and just threw it in this falling over building. We did put in a new garage door as well. The top portion of the old garage door was all busted out. We had the roof looked at. Roof looks good. All the windows are in good shape, so we're able to save a boatload of money there. This looks terrible. This is a little disappointing. We're supposed to be a few weeks out from completion and nothing's really been done, so I don't know what's going on back here. We're out in front of one of our most recently renovated properties. If you didn't see the beginning stages of this, check out this video right here. This thing has now been fully staged. We are listed on the market and we have a pending offer. Not only are we gonna tour the property today, we're gonna be going into the numbers on this deal. Before we do go inside, I do wanna talk about the exterior of the house a little bit, as well as what the landscape looked like. If you're with me previously, the landscape, it was basically non-existent. We barely even had a driveway here. It was just kind of more of a dirt road. And as you can see here, we brought in a bunch of gravel and actually made a circular driveway to where you can actually pull through and back out to the main road, which is really nice for a country property. And then we also did a gravel pad over there on the side of the house for whatever parking, RV parking, boat parking, you name it. So there's extra storage here, which is great. Additionally, there was no front yard whatsoever. We are working with 2.5 acres of land. We did not landscape the entire place, but what we did do is make a nice little front yard here with some bark dust so that the actual front of the house has some good looking curb appeal. Front shot of the house right now just pops with this new green grass and that fresh paint on the house as well. This landscape was actually so overgrown that once we started digging in and actually raking off debris and whatnot, we actually found this nice concrete sidewalk here that leads up to the entry. We didn't even know this thing was here. It was a nice little find. So one thing that was great about this house is we were able to save a lot of the exterior materials. The roof, that was existing. We were able to save most of the windows as well. We did have to replace a few of the windows. Most of them were already vinyl. We were able to save the majority of the siding. There was a little bit of spot repair. So the main things that we had to do to the exterior, it was just paint on the exterior of the house. But if you look at the previous photo, it was like forest green. It was just hideous. With the white exterior and the light gray roof, really sets off a nice color scheme, and not to mention the black trim that we chose here. As you can see, we painted the gutters black, garage door black, front door black, and all that tied together sets off the house in a really nice way. So let me know what you think in the comments about this color scheme. Do you like it? Would you have done anything different? I'm curious to know your thoughts. So that wraps up the front of the house. I think it's time for us to head on inside and take a look how this place turned out. Oh wow, this looks awesome. I absolutely just love the way all these colors turned out and worked together. I don't know if you remember, but the flooring in this place was absolutely wrecked. I don't know if it was from improper install or what it was, but the flooring was all buckled in multiple different areas. It was completely toast. So we had to rip all of the flooring out. And as you can see, obviously put in all new LVP style flooring. The color on this looks phenomenal and it ties in, I think, really, really well with just the other white on white paint SKUs that we used for the trim, walls, ceiling, and doors. Also, a big change that took place was right here in the kitchen. So originally the kitchen layout, there was a triangulated island. A triangulated island is more of a design out of the late 90s or even in the early 2000s. We decided to square off the island, get rid of that whole triangulated thing that they had going on there to give it a much more up-to-date feel. And I think it turned out really, really well. Guys, so on the cabinetry, we didn't even need to go too fancy here. These are a Home Depot cabinet. Some of them you can get right off the shelf. They look great. It's a white shaker cabinet. Throw on some good hardware and they look pretty dang good. Then all you need to do is throw on some nice solid surface countertops here, which we have a quartz style countertop. The kitchen looks awesome. Doesn't need to be done on a crazy high budget if you choose the right materials that look good and work well together. So I think this turned out great. So we did all new lighting in this room. As you can see, all new LED can lights in the kitchen and throughout the main living area. If you were with me on the first video, there was a ceiling fan that hung down so low right here. You better watch out, because if it was spinning and you walked into it, it was low enough to where it might just take your head right off. We decided to get rid of that, do some standard lighting here, tucked up, for safety purposes, of course, and to make it look better. As we're going through here, I do wanna give a quick shout out to my stager. As always, man, they just knock it out of the park. I don't know where they find all this kind of old school furniture, but it always looks so good when I come into our houses. They just do such an amazing job of just enough staging to where it warms up the house, but it doesn't over clutter the space. And they do a great job with understanding how the space actually flows, making the space actually feel bigger than it really is, which is a big key to staging. But as you can see, they do a wonderful job. Okay, so one small layout change that we did in this living room area, off of this corner right here, there was kind of a half wall or like a partition wall. There was actually like a window cut out in the center of it. It basically encased this hallway, right? So it came off of this corner right here. Obviously non-load bearing. There was some weird pendulum things, a window thing in there. I don't know. Didn't need it. As you can see, we just said, get rid of that. It opens up the space a lot more and just kind of defunkifies it. If that's a word, if it's not, I made it up and I'm gonna trademark that one. Anytime you can get rid of some non-load bearing walls in a living room, in a kitchen, in a dining room to help open up the space, do it. Okay, so that wraps up the common area of the house. Let's check out the rest of it, because we still have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths to look at. This place is 1,400 square feet. Let's go check out the rest of the place. So we have bedroom number 1 here. It's just your standard 10 by 10 bedroom. Bedroom number 2 as well. Kind of a standard 10 by 10. Both of these bedrooms are just your run of the mill. This is kind of your standard 3-2 single story ranch house. And those who were with me on the first video, the backyard was an absolute wreck. Wait till you see it now. We'll get there in just a moment. I'm excited to show you what it looks like now. Okay, so let's check out the hall bath and see how that turned out. I think it turned out amazing. We did a full go on this. As you can see, we've got new vanity, new toilet, and the tub and shower surround has been completely redone. I think it all looks great. You might be wondering, hey, why is there not a shower door or a shower curtain? We always leave that up to the buyer, but let me know in the comments what you think. Should we start including a nice shower door, glass shower door, or putting up a shower curtain? I'm curious what you think there. Again, we've always just left it up to the buyer and sold the houses like this, but I'm curious what you think. This was a big project. We took this thing A to Z. So hit that subscribe button, because we are gonna be showing a full compilation on this project from A to Z, so you can actually see all the before footage, some of the behind the scenes stuff, things like that. So hit that subscribe button so you can see when that video drops. So now we are in the master bedroom. Slightly bigger than the other 2 bedrooms, not much. Instead of a 10 by 10 like those other rooms, this is probably an 11 by 11 or something like that. So it's not a big master, but it does, however, have a 3/4 master bath, which is absolutely great. So again, this was another bath we did a full go on. New vanity, toilet, new stand-up shower. I don't know why that's here. That's never here. Maybe the stager hung that, because we usually don't do shower curtains. But either way, thank you, stager, for giving us a nice looking shower curtain there. All in all, I think this bathroom looks really, really nice. One thing I do want to note here, I think this is a pretty good tip for anybody who is flipping houses or renovating their own house. Since this room is relatively small, and also, as you notice, the bathroom itself is relatively small, it makes it difficult when you have doors that need to swing. So previously, I believe there was a right-hand swing door that went into this bathroom. It just closes off the bathroom. It just makes it feel that much smaller. So utilizing a barn door in a scenario like this can really open up the space and make it feel a lot bigger and not having to deal with those swinging doors in such a tight space. Mental note, use a barn style door in tight spaces, and they look cool too. Okay guys, so that wraps up the interior of this gorgeous single story ranch home. I'm in love with this place. Let's go check out the backyard. I'm excited to show you how that looks versus how it previously looked last time we were out here. So if you're with me previously, the backyard looked a little different than this. Like I had mentioned, we're not doing a big landscape plan back here. It was simply cleanup. We have 2.5 acres of land here. We really don't need to put in a big fancy backyard area, but what we did have to do was tear down some structures that were basically falling over. This was the only one that was salvageable. There was another one next to it that was fallen over, like some sort of, I don't even know, old school chicken coop thing that was rotting away. And then in that back corner was actually like an old school barn. It had some cool old barnwood to it. It had to be torn down. It was actually full of trash. Like the previous owners had just been utilizing it as their personal landfill, taking the garbage from the kitchen and just throwing it in the barns, not to mention it was falling over. So there was no salvaging it. We had to get rid of that. And then there was another little structure next to it as well. So all in all, we had a lot of just demo trash cleanup and landscape cleanup here. So we had to get multiple machines in here, an excavator, a skid steer, a few dumpsters. We had a lot of haul off to take place. If this is your first time here, it may not look like much. It just looks like a dirt patch back here with a few weeds growing up. But man, there's a night and day difference from when we bought the place. So last time I was out here, we did have some decisions to make about what we were gonna do for this back patio area, because there was a big deck back here that was completely rotted away. We had to tear that out. And then we had some decisions to make. Hey, do we want to replace it with a deck? Do we want to replace it with some patio pavers? Do we want to pour concrete? What do we want to do? And we decided to just build a deck back in its place. It's not quite as big as it originally was. It originally went to this other side of this window. So to save a little bit of cost, we did make a bit of a smaller deck. I think it turned out really nice. Let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer a deck like this, or would you rather have just a big concrete slab or some patio pavers? Of course, we do have to take cost into consideration when we are making these decisions. I kind of like the deck versus a concrete slab, but again, let me know what you think. I'm curious. I would love some feedback there. So let's get into the numbers on this deal. This is looking like it's gonna be a phenomenal deal for us, first off. So we bought this thing for $300,000. Again, we picked it up sight unseen. This thing was a complete disaster. As you can see, we pretty much had to touch every surface other than a few of the exterior items that we mentioned earlier, but we ended up putting in right around $120,000 into this property, all in, right? We bought it for 300, put in 120. That brings our basis in the property up to 420,000. Originally, I had comped this property at around a $600,000 exit, which already would have been a good deal. There were some interesting things that took place in the market in this area specifically, where demand happened to be low. It was just the perfect timing when we hit the market with this property. So we actually listed it at $640,000. We went pending in just a few days. Long story short, we listed it at $40,000 over what we were thinking. We got an accepted offer. We're set to have this thing closed up here in the next week or so. You can run the math on that. It's a pretty big profit and we're stoked for it. Again, flipping houses, it can be a risky business. It's not always like that. I've had it go 40,000 the opposite direction. So this is just one where, hey, we got to celebrate the win. We're excited about it. Yeah, on to the next one. Hit that subscribe button, hit me with a comment, hit me with a like. We'll see you on the next video. All right, see ya.